motherhood and parenting is extremely over-engineered nowadays. And I started noticing it because I was constantly being questioned, like, oh, why didn't you buy this gadget? Why didn't you read this book? Or why didn't you get the wipe warmer? And it's just like, I just don't need that. And this really dawned on me because I realized that I have a wildly, highly different perspective on motherhood and parenting than a lot of people do right now. I think that I may have cracked the code for some of us millennial moms. At least I'm kind of figuring it out for myself right now. I know I'm filming it out of nowhere. I had to stop what I was doing, but I had to write down my ideas and everything because it just came down on me. It finally made sense as to why I'm doing what I'm doing and why it feels so natural to me. I just looked back on my life. I just looked back at the simplicity of my life when I was growing up, and I realized that our moms didn't treat motherhood like a big performance. It wasn't a competition. They went with the flow. They were busy. Yeah, you're a mom, you're busy, but they didn't feel all the pressure that we feel today. And parenting was fun. It was simple. It wasn't some dumb aesthetic. It was real joy. It was lighthearted, and it was just being there for your kids and enjoying the ride and going with the flow. They were not obsessing over schedules and timelines and milestones, and they weren't micromanaging every freaking detail of our lives. They gave us a space to grow and be kids. They gave us a space to adapt, and somehow we were okay. We're all here and we're fine. And I think a lot of us millennial kids sense that something is off with the kids nowadays or the parenting nowadays. It doesn't look like fun. Like when I was younger, I always wanted children, but then I got older and I was like, oh no, I don't want to deal with this and I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have these gadgets in my house. I don't want to screen time or no screen time or what and what not to do and books to read and all this endless information of what to do for your kids. It just made it so stressful. It just sounded so stressful for me, so I didn't want it. But now that I have a child, oh my gosh, my take on parenting and how I do things, it just doesn't line up with how people are doing it today. And without really noticing it, it dawned on me that I was parenting from a completely different time. I just look back at our parents and they did their thing with a glass of wine in hand because they were moms, but they were also adults, women who were allowed to enjoy adult things, adult conversations, and adult life while raising kids. What's ironic to me is that all of these modern conveniences that were supposed to make parenting easier have actually complicated it. And for a lot of moms, it created so much more anxiety and worry. And this anxiety winds up robbing us of the actual joy of being a parent and of being a mom. Yes, I did read the Moms on Call book, and I did educate myself to some degree, but I do feel that this is built within us. Like God has put these instincts in us as women and as parents to do this and do this right and do this well. Okay, now I don't want to overwhelm you with my excitement, but I just have so much to say. And here is my first point. We track everything. We track wake windows, ounces, schedules, apps, naps, timelines, how much they eat, how full their diaper is. I mean, I could go on all day. And while that information can be helpful, I think that too much of it creates so much self-doubt. And instead of trusting our own built-in instincts, we're taught to rely so heavily on gadgets and trackers and outside voices for every single decision, for everything your child does. It's just micromanaging. Even though mothers have been doing this successfully for many years, long before any of this junk ever existed, at some point, information stops being supportive and helpful and starts becoming incredibly stressful and expensive. And when you need to outsource your confidence to gadgets, you begin to lose trust and confidence in yourself. You don't need to micromanage motherhood in order to be a good and alert mom. Your intuition is not outdated. I promise you that. It is built in. So go back to that place of trusting your instincts. Not everything is an emergent matter. Not everything needs to be tracked. Not everything needs to be micromanaged. Where's your time for fun? Where's your time to just be like, oh, it's fine. Oh, he ate a little bit of dirt. He'll live. You know, we don't need all of this stuff. It just creates just a whirlwind of anxiety and just sucks all the fun out. You're a mom. You are biologically engineered by God to do this and do this right. Rely on your instincts. They're still there. Of course, in the beginning, I may have had some anxiety here and there. And yes, I would call the nurses if, late at night if something went wrong. But I said, now I can rely on myself and I can relax and be like, he's fine. It's okay. I used to spend summers with my grandmother, and my mom didn't call every 5 seconds to make sure that I was okay. She trusted her instincts and she knew her own mom, and she's like, yeah, Yasmin, she's fine. They're fine. The kids are fine. I can relax. Everything is going to be okay. As a mom, you will know. You have a special connection with your child, with your children, and you will be alerted. Your alarm will go off if something's wrong. So relax. Point number 2, early 2000s moms were wearing cute, messy buns and letting their kid play outside while mom was inside watching Oprah interview Monica Lewinsky on TV. I don't know. I just vividly remember that when I was a child. Let the kids be kids. They wore mismatching clothes. It wasn't all about having the matching, super expensive aesthetic. We would get hand-me-downs. What I couldn't wear anymore, my sister would wear. We would play freely outside. Nobody cared. And there wasn't pressure to create some aesthetic childhood. We just lived it and we had fun, real, authentic fun. We let kids be kids, and our parents were parents. They were adults. They were enjoying time with each other. My mom would take us, me, my brother, and my sister, to visit her girlfriend in the apartment down the street, and we'd play in one room while my mom was having a glass of wine with her girlfriend at the table, laughing about whatever they were laughing about. And did I feel neglected? Did I feel left out? No, I didn't. I was happy that my mom was happy. She was having a good time, and we were having a good time. So let your kids be kids, and you be an adult. It is okay. My third point is when motherhood starts becoming a performance like it is nowadays. Now imagine the extra effort it takes to make sure all the toys coordinate, the home looks perfect, and everything is some fun, beautiful aesthetic, instead of it being functional for the people who actually live there. And listen, I love a clean and organized home. I really do. But I realized something, that breaking down the playpen that I would build up every single night and putting all the toys away only to wake up extra early to set it up again, that was just not serving me anymore, and it just wasn't functional. And then the rigid schedules on top of that, oh my God, the stress of thinking that I can't do something because of this nap and this feeding time and blah, 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 and everything at a certain minute, or a bedtime has to be earlier, or the routine has to shift, and everything just blows up in flames. Let your kid nap at a different time. Put them to bed a little earlier, a little later. They'll live. They will adjust. You have things to do, things to enjoy, life to live together. Yes, the end result that you see on social media might look really nice, but if it doesn't feel peaceful, then what the heck's the point? Peace matters so much more than presentation. So here's what I do instead. I don't overconsume the parenting content. After reading the Moms on Call book, I was like, okay, I got this. I trust myself. I know what I'm doing, and I trust that I'm doing it well. I do what works in my home for our family structure. I leave the dang playpen out. I only put it away when my son stays a few nights over at his grandparents' house. I don't go bonkers checking the baby monitor every 5 minutes because I also need sleep, and I trust that God is there with my baby. He's there with us all the time. Why wouldn't he be there while I'm asleep? I enjoy doing things with my baby without feeling like so wrong about having a little fun myself. And you know what that creates? It creates a happy mom. It creates a happy home because my baby sees a mom who's calm and happy and laughing and playing and not taking everything so seriously. And that makes him happy too. And finally, this is for any mom ready for something better, ready for a calmer life. This isn't just for new moms. This is for any mom who wants something better, who's craving that peace and functionality that they remember from back in their earlier times as a child. Let me give you this permission slip here. You are allowed to have fun. You are allowed to do adult things. You are allowed to put the darn gadgets down and get creative. You don't need a toy or something designated for everything. Teach your kids how to be resourceful. I still let my little boy take wooden spoons and bang on pots and pans. I didn't need the stupid baby jam out kit. I got creative. And you know what? He doesn't know the difference. He's having a great time. It teaches your kids to be resourceful, make things together, let them adapt. Stop making this incredible experience so daunting and so stressful. When in doubt, look back at your own childhood, assuming you have good memories. I pray to God that you do. And don't put your adulthood on hold. Don't let your child run your life. They can and will enjoy it with you. I've been doing it this way, and my little boy is sweet, joyful, and incredibly happy. And what more could I ask for? All of that is to say, I am not going backwards. I'm just refusing to believe that I have to choose between being a mom and being an adult. I know that I can have it all, and so can you. Just choose the peace, choose the joy, choose laughter, choose a simplified way of living where you don't lose yourself and you don't lose your joy either. You can parent like it's the early 2000s, and I guarantee your kid's gonna turn out fantastic. I hope this video helped you. I hope that it inspired you to parent your kid in a different, more peaceful, more calm, more laid back manner. Let me know. I want to hear in the comments, how did your mom and dad do it? What were they doing? I've seen some funny things where, I'm not saying that you need to, light up a cigarette and have a beer with your kid or anything like that. Like, we know better, but I want to know, these are funny stories. I want to hear these things where our parents didn't take it so seriously and weren't so rigid and just enjoyed parenthood and enjoyed raising you. How was that? Anyways, thanks so much for listening, and I hope it resonated with you, and I hope you get this epiphany just like I did. There's nothing wrong with it. Love y'all. See you in the next video. Bye.